So today, we have Blade from the Blade Trilogy taking on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, taking on Selene from Underworld. Who wins? Well, let's find out. So, start off with strength. Selene is a vampire who drank the blood of the first immortal, Alexander Corvinus, and then went through the Vardor ritual. I might have mispronounced that. I don't know. Anyways, both of which made her far stronger, tougher, and faster than the average vampire. She easily sent a lichen flying with just a palm strike, beat up a group of lichens, folded a man in half easily, flipped over a van, punched through Quint, sent Marius flying with a kick, overpowered Marcus and sent him flying, and easily ripped out Marius's spine. Buffy is the vampire slayer, meaning she's just as strong, tough, and as fast as vampires, as well as other monsters like werewolves, demons, etc. She's unlocked a locked door by casually turning the knob, decapitated a demon with a glass shard, easily bent thick metal bars in a rifle with her bare hands, lifted a minecart, easily lifts steel girders weighing several hundreds of pounds, sent Spike flying with one hand while laying prone, smashed a stone wall, sent a vampire flying through a brick wall, and she's thrown off two large demons who were restraining her. And Blade is a human vampire hybrid, meaning he has all the advantages of a vampire with none of its drawbacks, except a thirst for blood. But he takes this serum regularly that kills the cravings. He sent a large vampire through a thick metal door and again through a wall. He easily restrained, lifted, and killed another vampire with just one hand, threw a man hard enough to bend a metal pole, broke the arm of a mutant vampire, easily ripped out a vampire's throat, and he fought against Dracula, eventually killing him, as well as an amp Deacon Frost. Durability. Blade easily withstood hits from Dracula, Deacon Frost, and being slammed with enough force to cause a small crater, and being hit hard enough to crack stone. He can drop several stories with no injury, and was only moderately injured after being shot in the leg with a shotgun, as well as being stabbed and beaten on. He does also have a healing factor, but it only really seems to work immediately if he just consumed his serum or blood. Buffy got right back up after being hit by a speeding car, having a tree fall on top of her, and several story falls, as well as hits from monsters, vampires, demons, etc. Yada yada yada. She's been sent flying with enough force to snap a tree in half and bust through a stone column, and was just fine. And survived being blasted with 12,000 volts of electricity and a house-busting explosion. She also had a healing factor, as she could heal from major injuries after a few days, but nothing like very important in terms of during combat. Selene got back up after being sent flying through a thick stone wall and a fall down an elevator shaft. She's kept on fighting after taking hits from a werewolf, Lycans, Victor, Marius, Quint, and Marcus, including being stabbed in the chest by Marcus's wings, and was just fine. She also tanked a point-blank shotgun blast and being shot in the head as if they were nothing. Speed. Selene has consistently dodged and evaded bullets even after the bullets were already fired. She's kept pace in combat with all those names that I just mentioned earlier, and blitzed multiple guards before they could react. She's also routinely performed flips and ran up walls and whatnot. She's also moved at faster than the human eye can follow, as she's blitzed over 10 lichens. Buffy has caught up to a speeding bus, blitzed 7 vampires, easily caught thrown knives and arrows, and she's dodged automatic gunfire before. She is also a great gymnast. Blade has evaded and dodged bullets. He easily caught a sword strike from behind, dodged two attackers on motorcycles, matched Deacon Frost and Dracula, and blitzing vampires before they could react. And he's a very good acrobat as well. So, physically, Selene holds the advantage across the board. She's stronger, she's tougher, and she's faster. She's just been enhanced more times than Buffy and Blade have. Um, with drinking the Corvinus strain and going through that ritual. Yeah, Selene is superior. And then I think Buffy is just a hair better than Blade, but overall they're pretty even. Moving on to fighting skill. Blade is a highly trained and skilled martial artist, melee fighter, acrobat, and marksman. He's taken down whole groups of vampires by himself. While unarmed, he's easily killed vampires and mutated vampires with his sword. He's perfectly gunned down multiple vampires and threw one of his bladed weapons with such precision that it killed several vampires at once. He even roundhouse kicked a dart into Frost's head. He also held his own with Deacon Frost and Dracula and extended sword fights and eventually killed them in the end. Selene's skill is said to be second to no one, and she's considered to be the best death dealer the vampires had ever seen. She casually bested trained cops and security guards, killed a werewolf, killed groups of lichens and vampires at once single-handedly, and she bested on her killed Victor, Marius, Varga, and Marcus. She's also been a death dealer for like all of her life, which would mean she has at least over 600 years of experience. I say quote unquote at least because it's also implied that she's much older than that, closer to 1,000 years old, which would mean she would actually have closer to 1,000 years of experience. Buffy was extensively trained by her watcher, Giles, in a few martial art forms, specializing in Aikido, Savate, and Jiu-Jitsu, as well as melee fighting and marksmanship. She actually learned all of this much faster than a normal human could because she had the instincts of a vampire slayer. She has the skill, knowledge, instincts, and experiences of all the past slayers. She's matched or bested Spike and Angel, who are both expert combatants with anywhere between 100 to 300 years of experience. I can't remember exactly how old they are. I know Angel turned Spike, so he's older than him, but you get the gist. They both have at least a couple centuries of experience, and she's matched or bested them. She's easily killed vampires, demons, etc., including Dracula himself, and even bested Faith, another slayer, as well as Riley, who's like an expert military combatant. It's hard to say who's actually better. Selene is certainly and vastly more experienced than Buffy and Blade. She and Blade are more violent than Buffy, but Buffy has matched and are bested more named characters that were actually skilled and trained. But I do think Buffy is last in this area, just because she's not as violent as the other two. I think Blade is more violent than Selene, but like I said, Selene has a vast experience edge. Now let's get to their weapons. All three of them have carried and used a wide array of weapons during their time on the big screen. Selene has carried fully automatic handguns, a regular handgun, razor discs, silver grenades, and silver-plated knives. Blade has carried a wide array of firearms with ammo that's lethal to vampires, double-sided shurikens, silver daggers, solar light grenades, and a silver-edged sword as his main weapon, and he does also wear a bulletproof vest for extra protection. Buffy carries whatever she needs to kill the monster she is trying to slay, and claims to have all the weapons needed in a fight to stop evil from A to Z. That could mean a wooden stake and a crossbow, or axe, or a sword, or whatever. So, who wins? Well, I don't think it's going to be Buffy. I know we've seen her kill more powerful threats, but that's just an advantage of being in a 7 season long TV series instead of a series of movies. She's just not violent like them, and she certainly doesn't carry any firearms. Maybe a crossbow at best. That's it. And even her vampire gear wouldn't be very effective against either of them. Selene is an elder vampire who isn't affected by sunlight and other typical vampire weaknesses. And Blade being a hybrid means he doesn't have those weaknesses either. Not to mention, vampires in his universe are weak to silver, not wood. So while being impaled by a wooden stake would hurt both of them, it wouldn't put either of them down. She could potentially beat Blade, but she's not getting past Selene. And I think that means we have our winner, because while Blade might be more violent than Selene, all of his weapons are based around silver, which is something Selene just isn't weak to. Adding the fact that she has a physical and experience edge, and I think it's curtains. Blade could win with a decapitation, probably, but it's more likely Selene wouldn't allow that to happen and would get the win eventually. Selene wins after a good fight. She's the strongest, toughest, fastest, and vastly more experienced one out of the three. Selene wins. Like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment of what you thought and hit the notification bell to be notified of all my future videos and all the great stuff. I truly do appreciate it, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.